G'day folks, today we're having a look at Matchbox's Grumman Hellcat. It's kit PK18, so it's one of the 20 initial releases from 1973, but I'm pretty sure that this is a 1975 boxing. It opens at the ends, it doesn't have its own lid, it's got the window on the back, and it's got the fantastic Huxley artwork here featuring some action from the Marianas turkey shoot. Now this kit is interesting. I've got a couple of questions about it. The colours used for the sprues in this one are different from what you see on the box, and I thought that they were from the 1982, the 80s boxing. But it's possible that Matchbox changed the colour of the plastic before they changed the box. So anyone who knows more about these things or might remember is welcome to share your thoughts. And of course the Hellcat was quite an important aircraft in Second World War history. It was developed using the lessons learnt from the early stages of the Pacific War, and it saw service with the United States and with the Royal Naval Fleet Air Arm right through to the end of the war. Indeed, the last of them weren't retired by the US services until about 1960. They used them as target drones. And I made several of these. They were good fun to build, and from memory they just went together really fast, really easily, and there were very few problems putting them together. The undercarriage may have been a little bit finicky, but maybe I was just a bit ham-fisted. So I built 2 or 3 of them, and I generally built them using the Fleet Air Arm colours, the roundels of them, the blue and white Pacific roundels without the red, reminded me of the Australian colours, so perhaps that's why I did. Perhaps I just liked them in green. Having a look at the box now, it has all the details we've come to expect. That fantastic Huxley artwork on the front. On this side it has another 4 of the kits that you could buy, a great way to hook you in. And 3 of these were the Jets, which didn't really grab me at the time, but one of them was the 109, which I built several of. Looking on the end, we've got the usual layout, so you could see what you were looking at when you saw a pile of them in the shop. This end has the 2-tone green plastic, or the green and the brown plastic, which shows what it looks like if you put it together and put decals on it but didn't paint it. A little bit less implausible than bright pink and bright blue, or some of the colours they did use, but hey, I wasn't complaining. Plus a bit of information about the type in different languages, and then we have that on the same on the other end. Then we have the 2 colour schemes. We've got one from the USS Yorktown, and then we have one from 1832 Squadron Fleet Air Arm, the Indomitable, from the British Fleet Task Force 57-2 in 1945. So yeah, that would have grabbed me. And from memory I had a bit of the paint that I needed for this one that I had left over from doing the Mitchell, so that may have swayed my decision. Then we get this fantastic view in here, giving a bit of a hint of things to come. So that's the box. Let's see what we've got inside. Let's spin it this way. Remember that smell when you'd open them up? This is a pretty crisp, undamaged box, so might have just sat on a shelf somewhere. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now this one is a mystery and I can't quite work it out. It's got an almost black sprue and a grey sprue, which doesn't match the information that's on the box, and I'm suspecting that it might be one of the 1982 mouldings, which should have been in the later box. But it also looks like it hasn't really been touched, although the decals do look kind of worn. So someone may have replaced the parts from this box with newer parts, but let's have a look at it anyway. We'll start with the instructions, the 3 fold out section, and this one feels a bit lighter, so I'm wondering if it's a copy or not. So typical outline on the front, bit of prototypical information and the specifications, PK18. Inside we have the 8-step instructions with their usual how-to and symbol for the different codes. Step 1, you put the pilot on his seat. Step 2, you put the engine, the cowling ring, prop and the backing section on. Step 3, you put the engine on the front, pilot and his seat inside, and glue the fuselage sections together, with the recommendation that here's where you cut out the little slot if you want to put it on the stand. Section 4, that's pretty simple, canopy goes on. Section 5, the tailplanes. Section 6, we have the wings go together and the radio mast, and that all goes on. Section 7, put the undercarriage together. And Section 8 is put everything else together. And again, it has the information there if you want to do it with the undercarriage retracted for use on the stand. And just a little bit there about putting the drop tank together. Then on the right, it's got the list of the kits that were available at the time, and this is copyrighted 1974. Okay, and it says Technical Information and Assistance by Grumman and RAF Museum. Not sure that they had one, the RAF Museum had one at the time, but anyway. Then over on this side we have the paint listing and the how to do your decals. On the back here, it's the chart for which parts are coloured in which colours. Bit of prototypical information in different languages and the stand info there. So that's the instructions. Now these decals have been through the wars, as it were. They're all curled up and it looks like they might have got wet. They've certainly been stained at some time, which leads me to suspect that this box may have been filled with bits from different models before it came to me. It shows the two different colour schemes here, with the top one with the Fleet Air Arm roundels overpainted the stars and bars, and yeah, with the little marking there for the stand if you wanted. So yeah, that's the decals. The parts, we have the canopy, which still fairly clear and crisp, not foggy, and able to be painted fairly easily. And of course, you have the Matchbox stand. Now, I put a bit of white paper under the first sprue just to provide a bit of contrast. So this first sprue, it's basically black. It's 1973 moulding information there, but that probably didn't change. So this one shows the way that they did the panel lines on the Hellcat. So it's got the raised vertical lines, nothing horizontal until you come forward to the cockpit, where they have this fairly large recessed set of panel lines there, the information there. So that's how they did it with this one. And with everything black, that painted, that meant the engine didn't need much painting, I suppose. And yeah, so this was the main sprue with the fuselage sides, the wheels, prop, the cowling ring, the pilot and the seat, and the drop tank. And then the second sprue, the wings, tailplanes, the inner section there for the undercarriage, various undercarriage parts, and a couple of other little parts, the pedo mast there by the looks. Now, looking at this, looking there, I wonder if it looks a bit warped. I wonder if that is the case. Maybe it's been hot, which might have had something to do with the decals being the way they are. So yeah, a bit of detail there. It all went together from memory really, really well. So that was the second sprue. So thanks for sticking around and watching this video. Any comments or thoughts are appreciated, and you're certainly most welcome to suggest other kits from the Matchbox line to have a bit of a look at.